Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Carter, and thank you all for joining us today. As I shared with the university community last week, the arrival of Dan Radakovich is a significant moment for the future of athletics at the University of Miami. The success he has helped enable for student athletes in the classroom and in competition is reflective of our values. Dan has the experience, the relationships, and the passion it takes to ignite and sustain excellence, the very, very core of our bold vision for the future of Hurricane athletics. Beyond the impressive record that makes him one of the most highly regarded athletic directors in the country, Dan knows us well. He began his administrative career with the Hurricanes, and he's also an alumnus, having earned his MBA here at Miami. Intercollegiate athletics is more than an extracurricular activity. As a private, comprehensive research university, we create knowledge through research and scholarship, recreate knowledge through education, and translate knowledge through innovation and service. To sustain the comprehensive what we do, we engage in a number of activities beyond the classroom that are an integral part of our core mission. For instance, we provide health care. As the only academic health system in South Florida, we educate the next generation of health professionals as we research new ways to treat and prevent disease. We also engage in tech innovation, translating our discoveries into solutions to complex challenges, often in partnership with outside entities. Athletics is another vital way that we engage with and enhance the community of which we are a part. Collegiate competition in sports supports comprehensive education, linking health in mind and body, enriching the college experience for participants and spectators alike, and created pathways to higher education for many young people who, whether they go on to play their sport professionally or not, are often trailblazers and role models for their families and communities. Each of these activities is integrated to our core mission, generating sources of support so we can continue investing in talent. In short, our historic commitment to athletics is not a deviation from our core mission. It is an investment in a unifying force. We have seen that force for good in the past. Hurricane athletics, and football in particular, as our beloved former coach Howard Schnellenberger put it, was, and I quote, was able to do something the federal government, city and county tried to do and couldn't: bring the community together, end of quote. At a time when division threatens the very fabric of the human family, that is a tradition I am proud to reinvigorate for our university's future. I appreciate the confidence and partnership of the Board of Trustees, the hard work by our leadership team and key supporters to conduct a successful search for our next athletic director, and the warm welcome our Deputy Athletic Director, Jen Strawley, our coaches, and our staff are already giving Dan. The future looks bright for our Miami Hurricanes. Dan Radakovich has the ingenuity, business acumen, and reputation as a high-performing leader that we need at this moment to navigate and shape the disruption occurring in intercollegiate athletics and to empower our talented student athletes to succeed both on and off the field. On behalf of the entire University of Miami community and Hurricane sports fans around the world, I am delighted to welcome Dan back to Miami. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce our new Vice President and Director of Athletics, Dan Radakovich. Thank you.
Wow, that was great. Thank you so much for that very kind introduction, President Frank. It's an incredible honor and pleasure to be here today. I want to thank President Frank, Chairman Silver, Rudy Fernandez, Joe Echeverria, Jackie Travisano, David Epstein, Jose Mas, and Manny Cadre for the interactions that I've had over the last couple of weeks here with the University of Miami. It's been special. They've represented the institution incredibly well, and we're able to move forward with their vision for what they want Hurricane athletics to be. And I think President Frank talked about it very well there. Athletics is a part of the greater university community. And we need to be a shining example of integrity, innovation, commitment. Those are things that maybe you don't always hear about from an athletic program, but that's important for us. It's important for us to play that role in our campus community. I also just want to take a second to thank all my friends back at Clemson University, fellow Atlantic Coast Conference member, President Jim Clements, former President Jim Barker, who 9 years ago gave me the opportunity to come to Clemson. We had Clemson has really great alignment between their board, their president, their athletic director, and their coaches, and again, particularly in football, and it's really been able to pull together that success. So with the information that we have here and the opportunity that we have here, that's job one, to be able to make sure that everyone is rowing in the right direction, pulling together, and making sure that our student athletes have a great experience and our coaches have the resources to do theirs. I'd like to thank my wife Marcy, who's here with us tonight. She's the rock. All of you who are in roles at an institution or coaching or whatever know that athletic director wives or coaches' wives, they are just spectacular individuals. And Marcy, I love you. Thank you. My two boys have often heard me talk about my time at Miami. Now, they weren't born yet. They both live and work in Atlanta. Special young men, love them to death, and so now they'll get an opportunity to witness the greatness of the U, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. I also have to say, because I've known Blake James for years, I appreciate Blake James, I appreciate the work that he's done. He is a friend and a colleague, and I look forward to following some of the things that he's pulled together, along with Jen Strawley, who President Frank also mentioned. Just a great staff here that I'm looking forward to really getting to know and help do the things that are needed and necessary within the program. Now, I've had conversations with some of our coaches, some of our staff, but really look to dive into that whenever I start come the early part of January. There's a lot of work to be done. And for all of you who are involved in athletics, you know that there are many ways to get the same thing done. We're going to try to do it the way that it fits the University of Miami and allows us to have the greatest success that we can. I will spend a lot of time over the next coming months engaging, listening, learning from everybody in the department and within the university community. It's going to be very important for us for me to know and understand that as we chart the next course for the University of Miami athletics program. Some people may have understood, I've done a lot of building at some of my other stops along the way. Facilities are important. They're important for attracting really great student athletes to come here, but facilities are just brick and mortar. It's always has been and always will be about people. So we want to put people first, but we want to make sure that the facilities we have are at the best that they can be. Our current campus partners, our generous supporters, our passionate fans and alumni, our former and current student athletes, our coaches, our staff and community, when they come together, there's nothing that we can't accomplish as Hurricanes. So with that, President Frank, thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to lead the University of Miami athletic program. Thank you very much.
We'll now take questions from the media. We have Cam and Josh split wide on either side here. Please raise your hand and wait for the mic. You might not think you're on, but rest assured the mic is on, and if you can state your name and affiliation before you ask your questions, that would be.
Hey Dan, Gary Furman, Kane Sport. Welcome back to the U.
Thanks, Gary.
You know, you talked about facilities, and facilities are obviously always the focal point, no matter what the athletic program is, and it's always been a focal point here, but it's not always spoken in the most positive of terms. I know you just got back here, and you probably haven't even looked at everything around yet, but is that something that came up while you were interviewing, and do you expect to really hit the ground running in that regard?
Well, I do. You know, as I just said, facilities are important. People are important. There's a lot of factors there that go into it. You've got to be able to look and see exactly where your strengths are and where maybe you need some additional assistance right away. But just know that there'll be a full review and understanding of everything that we have here from a facility perspective and how we could make that work best. For our student athletes and for our university community. It is important, but I can't tell you right now, you know, where exactly that first focus is going to be. There'll just be a full review of everything and to a lot of the folks that are in this room as to what they might feel might be most important right away, especially our coaches.
Hi, Dan. David Lake from Inside the U. Wanted to ask you just if you could explain the ROI that you saw at Clemson with investing heavily in athletics, you know, beyond the community aspect and school pride aspect. How did it benefit the university as a whole?
That's a great question. You know, Clemson's a public university, so you can all look this up if you had the desire to do that. But football really was the train that allowed us to do everything else within the athletic program. They made an incredible profit, mostly off of the 80,000 people that would come to Memorial Stadium for those game days, as well as our affiliation with the Atlantic Coast Conference. That allowed us to do a lot of other things with some of our other sports. So yes, football is the economic engine. That's not a news flash for anybody in this room. That's the way it is at almost every Power 5 institution. So we need to make sure that happens here. Because when you play a game at Hard Rock Stadium and you have a competitive program and you have a high-level opponent coming in, the revenue that comes forward from that will help generate opportunities for other parts of the athletic program.
Hi there. And watching the way that Miami operates from afar, what was it about coming here that attracted you and drew you away from Clemson?
Oh, integrity piece. That was always a better. Was one I always looked at. I mean, there were times along the way every athletic program gets into a little bit of an issue, but how do you respond? How do you fix it? How do you move forward? And that's something that Miami has done incredibly well. But as it relates to this opportunity, you know, when I'm sitting in my office and I see that diploma up there and I'm not part of the organization, that was something that was really important to me. I always followed wherever the Hurricanes go, and I have a cadre of about 15 or 20 friends that I went to school with that would always and to influence it in some ways was just a great draw, and just very, very fortunate to have the opportunity.
Hey Dan, Manny Navarro from The Athletic. How you doing?
Hey, Manny.
So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask my neighbor's question. She's got daughters that play softball, and I know that's a big deal here in South Florida. A lot of really good softball.
at the other school. Got to my desk at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the first phone call I got was asking when Clemson was going to add softball. So you beat that, because I'm not even at my desk yet. But it's something that we have to look at, because we, number one, have to maintain compliance with Title IX. That's a federal law and something that's very, very important to us. And if adding softball helps us achieve that within an incredibly difficult conference of the ACC, we've got to run down that road, turn over every rock, and see if that's the right answer.
Any other questions for Dan?
One more? Oh,
Dan,
yeah.
I'm Susan Miller Degnan, Miami Herald. Welcome.
Hi, Susan.
I know you talked about Clemson, filling the football stadium, and obviously, well, Hard Rock does not usually with Miami. How do you? And I know how important it is. How do you begin to get people, more people in the stands other than a winning team, or is that all it takes?
Usually, that's a great start. I've been in the business 35 years, and you can't market your way to a full stadium, but you've got to be able to make it something that people want to be a part of. Back when I was here as a student and also working here, we used to talk about Miami being an event city. And I don't know that that's changed over the 35 years. We have to make those 7 Saturdays events. And make sure that the team is competitive, the opponents that come in, draw some folks in there, and when they get there, to have an incredible time. So the presentation, what we do in and around the stadium is really important as well. And I think if we do those things, we'll certainly make sure that we have great attendance at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, Dan, Dave Hyde of the South Florida Sun Sentinel. You mentioned the third vertical in our talk last week. Could you expound on that idea and sort of the business model that you're stepping into or you're going to create?
Sure. At the university, you have teaching and research. Here at the university, you have the health systems. And as I was told by the search committee and the people who were involved here, athletics is that third vertical. Because we probably do as much community outreach and branding as any part of the institution. So we want to make sure that outreach and that branding are positive and successful. And if we do that, then I think that third vertical will really solidify itself as part of the community here at the university.
What's going on, Dan? Donovan Campbell, Channel 7 WSVN here in South Florida. Welcome back home.
Thank you.
A lot of fans were super excited when they heard that Mario Cristobal was going to be the head coach. A lot of fans were also super excited when they heard that you were going to be the athletic director. Just talk about the excitement level of you being here with Mario, like the fans are so excited about having you both here as well.
Well, I've watched Mario from afar, not only as a player here, but as he went through his personal coaching journey. I mean, what he did at Florida International was phenomenal. What he did as part of Coach Saban's staff at Alabama was very, very good. And then certainly at Oregon, when he took the helm there for the last few years, has been spectacular. So he knows how to do it, and he's seen it, and he understands what it takes. And those are things that I think that both he from his vantage point and me from my vantage point, having been at some really top caliber programs and help pull those together, we could take our collective knowledge and pull that together here to move the university forward.